This is a repost. Hi, I'm Max, you can call me D, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi and welcome to my channel family. So I will preface this by saying that I will look very different right now than in the video itself, because this video took like 2 months to make, even though it wasn't supposed to take that long, and I currently have like 10 days to finish the cosplay, so I will really quickly get to filming the second part of this. But this is the first part of me making my first ever original character cosplay, so I'm hoping that you enjoy this. This video includes 2 patterns of this top and these shorts. Here are the timestamps if you're looking specifically for the patterns. And also another warning, this video wasn't supposed to be the pattern, so it's not filmed in a pattern way, it's just me showing what I'm doing and like giving you the instructions. So I'm sorry for that. Yeah, I think that's it, and enjoy the video. So the first idea came to mind when I was on my hiking trip with a few of my friends, and while I was just casually walking down the hill, I got a little bit of an idea of an OC that I wanted to create. So I sat down, I sketched for a little bit, and I came up with a Merman OC design. It's pretty detailed, but I still want to add a little bit more. I really love the design, so let's talk about it.
So I have a few things to say about the OC character sheet thing I made that is still being worked on, and what kind of things I plan ahead. This segment is filmed outside because I feel a little bit awkward doing it in an enclosed space, and that's gonna affect the sound quality, so I'm sorry. But generally the idea for this kind of OC was that I wanted a merman OC, or like a mermaid but a man. I'm assuming that's a merman. But I decided to humanize him a little bit so that he would be cosplayable by me, because you know I'm obviously a human, not a merman. So I made like a little skirt piece. Half of it is like mesh and the other half is completely opaque. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm guessing that the opaque part is gonna be like some kind of fabric maybe, and I want the mesh to be crocheted to resemble like fish nets. Not the socks, like the actual nets for fishing, because I think that could be cool with like a fish-coated character. Then I have a little bit of a detail on his eye patch and his little crown, and then I have some adornments for my arms and legs. I still have to figure out most of those because I wanted like a pretty detailed cosplay, and there's not that many details yet. So I'm probably gonna have to work that out as I go, but this is what I've got so far. Okay, they're already staring at me for talking to myself, to my own camera, but that's okay. I also already have a name for him. His name's Samuel. My friend Jimmy gave him the name, so thank you, Jimmy. I will refer to him as Samuel from this point in the video, and I'm hoping that I can get this cosplay done in preferably like, I don't know, maybe 2 months, maybe 3. I don't know if that's overkill for me. I don't know the techniques I'm gonna use, but it's a pretty uncovered cosplay, or like not that full coverage, so I don't think there's that much to do. I could be spoiling it by saying that, but generally I'm pretty happy with the idea that I came up with. The biggest issue is probably gonna be the wig, because lace fronts are expensive and ponytails are even more expensive. I also forgot that I didn't really make a top for him because, you know, he's a merman. Issue is, I'm a boob haver. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm gonna design a top, and I'm probably gonna start figuring out the materials slowly. I'm still on the hiking trip. I am leaving tomorrow. So I'm probably gonna do that this evening, and I'll get back to you with some sort of update.
So, update is here. I designed the top. Yes, it is the next day, and I came home a few hours ago. The top is designed. It's nothing marvelous. It's a pretty simple... It's not shellfish. It's not shellfish either. What is it called? What is it called? I'm gonna be calling it a shell top. So it's a very simple shell top, and with that out of the way, I'm gonna get started on the first thing, which is gonna be their underwear, and for me that's gonna be some white shorts. The pattern for the shorts is pretty much gonna be all made by me, because I'm gonna be making it up as I go, because I want to try to make them myself. I'm using a 2.5mm hook and this random yarn that I inherited and I have an absolute abundance of, as you already heard in my last video, because it's all from ripping up a part of a very big project that you will get to see at the end of this year, so subscribe to see that. But for these shorts, I'm gonna start with a slip knot, and I'm gonna chain enough to go around the widest part of my hips, because I personally have an issue with stuff not fitting over my butt. And if I try to make a waistband the size of my waist, it's not gonna go over my butt. So the way I do my waistbands is that I just make them big enough to go around my hips and my butt, and then when it's too loose around my waist, I put in a little elastic. By little elastic, I mean this thing. It's just a little string. I crocheted into the waistband and on the inside part, and that just tightens it up and it creates a pretty nice effect. So I'm gonna start with a slip knot, and I'm gonna chain however much I need. Okay, so I ended up chaining 130 chains. I know that seems like a lot. I guess I just have big cheeks. But now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the two ends. I'm gonna insert my hook into the very first stitch. That is unfocused, I'm sorry. I'm gonna slip stitch them together by pulling through the first loop and then pulling the same thing through the second. I'm gonna chain one, and this is the start of our shorts. So now I'm gonna be doing rows of a herringbone half double crochet. I think that's what it's called. It's basically a half double crochet that is a little bit more opaque than usual stitches. I don't really want to be flashing people, so I'm gonna try to put the tutorial somewhere around here because I don't really know how to explain how it works. So I'm gonna put this here while I continue working. Okay, so I'm back after a little while and I'm at the end of my row, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slip stitch them together. But before I do that, I'm gonna check if my chain is not twisted anywhere, because I do remember that my first ever crochet project did include having to chain, then slip stitch it together, and then working in the round like this, because that was the easiest way to do it at the time. And I remember ripping it apart like 6 times and crying out of frustration because I just couldn't get it right. So I'm gonna check if it's not twisted, and once I'm sure that it is not, I'm gonna take my hook. I'm sorry if you can't really see. Insert it into the first stitch, take the yarn, and now I have 2 loops, and I'm gonna pull the first one through the second one and do a chain. And that's how I'm going to be ending off the rows, because I want to be able to count them a little bit easier. As you saw the tutorial that I put here, I'm going to start doing that now. And I'm going to do, I don't really know how many rows, but I'll get back to you once it's about on my hip part. I'm back with my little rectangle. It ended up measuring about 8 inches in height. So now the next step, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna line up my seam so that it's right in the center, and I'm gonna chain like 15. Yeah, so I'm gonna chain 15 and then I'm gonna slip stitch it to the other side. That will be the thing that will separate our legs. So now I'm going to chain 2 And I'm gonna be going in the round of only one of the legs, and I'm just gonna continue doing that until it's long enough, and then I'll come back again. Okay, so I finished adding length to my shorts on the first leg, and it's not that much of a difference, but it did take a while. And just to make these a little bit less basic and more sea, ocean, fish kind of themed for the plant cosplay, I'm gonna add a scallop stitch all around the last row. If you don't know what a scallop stitch is, then don't worry because I'm going to show you. So I don't really know how else to show this, so I will just be all up in the camera. But basically the scallop stitch is where you have your little chain one. You're gonna grab the yarn twice, and you're gonna count on 3 chains. So 1, 2, 3. You're gonna insert into the third one, and you're gonna make a treble crochet. So you're just gonna pull through all of these 3. And basically you're gonna make 5 more treble crochets into that same stitch. So 6 in total. So now that we have 6 stitches in here, we're gonna count on 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna single crochet that down, and that creates a little scallop. And from the other side it looks the same. So I'm gonna do this all around the edge, and then I'll come back with the finished leg. Okay, so I just finished going all around the row, so I'm going to fasten it off, and I'm going to attach my yarn right here, and I'm gonna repeat the same process of adding the length and then the scallop stitches, and then the shorts will be done. Okay, I just finished the leg, but how is it standing? That is actually crazy. Okay, so I'm back and the shorts are finished. I absolutely freaking love the way they came out. I'm gonna do a quick little try on in a little bit, and I'm gonna see how it fits. Also, I'm going to show you the seam in the back because it is slanted, and I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but it always happens to me, and I don't really mind it. So my seam is just slanted. But this is how the scallops look. I love them so much. I can't tell you how happy I am about this. So I'm gonna do a quick little try on and we'll see how it looks. Okay, so for this part I'm just gonna hold my phone because it's a little bit easier to show, but they fit very well, except for the waist part, which is what we expected. Remember, we made the waistband bigger on purpose. So it's a little bit loose, like right here, and I will show you how to fix that right away. Okay, so between the last clip and the one that I'm filming right now, I added a few more rows to the back because I didn't feel like I had enough coverage, but that doesn't matter to you. If it covers enough of you, then it's fine. Now I want you to grab your crochet hook, your scissors, I have these weird looking ones, and your elastic string. I don't even know what this is called in English, so I'm gonna be calling it the elastic. I want you to flip your crochet shorts inside out. Now that it's inside out, you can pick basically any spot and you're just gonna attach it like any other yarn, but make sure you're working only in the back of your stitch. I'm trying my hardest to explain this, okay? But when you have your work like this is the inside out, right? And when you have a stitch, you need to be working as close to yourself as possible so that it doesn't show here, which is the outside. So I'm gonna grab my string, I'm gonna stretch it a little bit, I'm gonna put my hook on there, and I'm gonna attach it like any other yarn, and I think I'm going to start on the back. Also, do not start right at the top row. Go like maybe 1, 2 rows down, maybe even 3. Just don't do it right at the top. I'm gonna tie a knot just to be sure, because I don't trust myself that my chains would be tight enough to just hold it there. Okay, so I did a quadruple knot just to be safe, and now I'm going to go around and single crochet all around the shorts, but I'm making sure that I'm keeping the elastic stretched, because the fact that it is stretched now means that it will shrink once I let it go, which means that it's gonna make our waist tighter, which is exactly what we want. Also, a thing that I want to say is that crocheting the elastic in can be a little hard and it's time consuming. Like, I've been crocheting for at least 10 minutes and I only got this. So don't be worried if it's taking a little bit long, if it's a little bit hard for you. Take as much time as you need with it and have fun doing it. Crochet is all about fun. Okay, I'm back and I finished crocheting all around, and if yours is also scrunching up like this, that's fine, it's doing what we want. I weaved in the ends, and again I did like a quadruple knot, maybe even more, just to be sure, because it could snap out. Now we can do a proper try on to see if it fits, but of course, first turn it back right sides out. Okay, once again, I'm gonna hold my phone because it's easier to show. You can see that it's nice and tight and it snaps right back into place, which is exactly what we were after. And with this, the shorts are done with me. Of course, you can add whatever you want onto them. Feel free to do it in many colors. You can try some patterns out too. I would love to see your works. So now that the shorts. Now that the shorts are done, we can move on to the top, which you haven't seen yet, so that's gonna be interesting. For the top, I started with the bra cups, which was a very simple pattern which I use for almost all of my tops, where you have double crochet around a chain. Hi, so I have a few things to show you since the last clip, because I haven't filmed for like 4 days. I made 2 bra cups. It's the most generic bra cup pattern ever. You've seen that in the clip before. For reference, my cup size is around a B, and I know that this might seem a little excessive for like B cups, but I just prefer a little more coverage, especially because I'm going to be moving around in the cosplay a lot. Then I made the body of the top, which is just a straight rectangle, so I didn't really bother filming that. It has a little cute row of white, which I don't actually know if I'm going to place on the top or the bottom yet. I have to figure that out. But essentially the pattern for this is to just chain enough to go around like 3/4 of your waist. Yeah, for me it goes like that, and then there's gonna be lacing. So that's how the body of the top works. The cups are gonna get attached to this. I've also started working on the sleeves, which I actually don't know how I'm exactly gonna do yet, but this is what it looks like so far. I know it looks weird, but bear with me, okay? So I'm gonna finish one of these sleeves, and then I'm gonna get back to you and show you how I made this, because I made this up as I went. And this is my pattern, so I'm gonna quickly show you that. Okay, so I've slowly started attaching the top together, and I will explain how you're gonna do that. So you're gonna pick a side of the body, the rectangle that we made. You're gonna pick which side is gonna be the inside. For me, that was a side where I kind of messed up a little stitch, so it's like a good little indicator. It was this one where I didn't pull through properly, and it just made it kind of easy to actually know which side is my inside. So you're gonna pick that side, and from that side you're gonna sew the cups on. You can see the line where I sewed them on. And the sleeves get attached the same way. They get attached to the inside of the cup and to the inside of your body of the top. Everything is getting sewn on from the inside so that it doesn't show at all on the outside. It's pretty seamless considering the technique that I used. You can find lots of sewing techniques online, but this is how I like to do mine, so that's just how I did it. And now I'm going to show you how to do the sleeve. So for the sleeve, I'm gonna start with a single slip knot, and I'm gonna chain 2, and then I'm gonna do 1 half double crochet in the first chain. This will get a little confusing considering we only have 1 stitch, but I'm sure you'll figure it out. I'm gonna chain 1, and then I'm gonna find the top of my half double crochet, which should be the second V from your hook, and I'm gonna do an increase. So I'm gonna do 2 half double crochets right in there, and again I'm gonna chain one and I'm gonna turn. I'm gonna do this increasing in every single stitch until I get up to like 12 stitches, and then we're gonna change up the increasing. Now I'm gonna increase on only the first and the last stitch, chain one and turn. Now I'll continue increasing until I'm at the 16 number. Okay, so now I'm at the 16 stitches, and it is a little shorter than the previous one was, but now I'm going to do about 5 rows of just half double crochet with no increasing to actually make the part that's on the top of your shoulder. Okay, so I severely underestimated how many rows I needed. I ended up doing like 10 maybe. And now I'm gonna get onto the decreasing, which is just gonna work the same way that we increased but backwards. So you can go backwards in the video and just take those numbers and just slowly decrease. But you can see that in my previous sleeve that is already attached, so it's gonna be a little harder to show. I have this little extra part because I kind of didn't account for the length that I actually needed. So I'm still gonna add this because I don't think that it takes away from the aestheticness of the top. So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna finish it and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I finished my sleeve. It looks something like this. And now I'm gonna just tie it off, but I'm gonna leave a pretty long tail for the sewing part. Okay, so both of the sleeves are attached, so now I'm gonna move on to the lacing. So honestly, the lacing is like the easiest part of this top because it's just gonna be like 350 chains. Okay, so I finished lacing up the top. This is how it looks. Okay, you can't see it like that. This is how the lacing looks. I laced it 3 times on each side. And now that the base of the top is done, we can move on to actually trying it on for the first time. Okay, so this is how the top is looking. I love the way it sits. Look in the back. Oh my god, this is so cute. I'm in love. I'm so in love with the top. I know that you haven't seen the official design that I had for the top yet, so I'm going to show you that. Because this did not turn out like the top was supposed to turn out like at all. This is what the top was supposed to look like. It was supposed to have like seashell cups and that kind of thing. But honestly, seashell cups are so freaking hard to make, and I couldn't even find like a pattern for ones that I actually liked. So I think this is very cute. I love it. And now I'm gonna move on to the decorations. Some of them you might get to see in a later video because I will also be buying some decorations for like the entirety of the cosplay. But for the crochet decorations, I will show them to you now. Okay, so I will be wearing this top for the rest of the video because I'm too lazy to take it off. But I'm gonna take some white yarn and I'm just gonna do a few chains and I'm gonna tie little bows like right here because I think that's gonna be pretty cute. You can also just do chains and just fold it over and make it look like kind of seagrass. I think that could be really cute, so I'm gonna try to do either one of those. Okay, so I ended up chaining like 50 and I'm just gonna like tie it around it and I'm gonna see how it looks. Okay, so I put on the bow. It's a little bit wonky, but I think it's cute. I like it. If I like move it around a little bit, I can just make it look a little cuter. But I think this is adorable. Like, I'm sorry, but look at that. That's so cute. Okay, so I'm gonna finish the crochet like decorations, especially the bow, because I think I'm gonna put these also on the back because I think that could be absolutely adorable. And also another thing, just so that you don't think that, hey, this is not ocean themed at all, I found a pattern on Pinterest. It's not my pattern, you can just go and find it, but it's a starfish pattern, so I've started working on a little starfish, and I want to put that here, but I'm not sure if it's not gonna be like too big, so I might put it on one of the cuts or something. Okay, no, not there. Just somewhere on the top. I'm gonna figure it out, and I'll finish up the top, and I think this is it from me for the top making part, so I'm just gonna show you the finished top at the end. Hi, this is the outro me, and unfortunately I don't have the top on, but I finished it because there was literally nothing else to do with it. I think I'm gonna keep it like that because I like the simplicity of it. And I'm ending this video with a quick goodbye because I'm sorry, but this video was very late, and it's because as the school year is starting to approach, I've been getting really busy, and I can already start to sense the school burnout coming, and I don't like that feeling. So please keep in mind that my uploads will be very sparse from now on, and I'm strongly hoping that this won't be the last video up until Christmas. So let's hope for the best, and this is what I'm ending it with. See you in the next part.